Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into the microscopic power grid of the human body. We're going to explore your cellular battery, figure out exactly why we lose that spark of vitality as we get older, and, more importantly, look at the cutting-edge science of how we can actually reclaim the energy of youth. Let's jump right in.
To kick things off, let's talk about something we can all relate to. You know that dad bod that just kind of creeps in around the middle? Or maybe it's that dreaded 3 p.m. brain fog, or just this sense of chronic fatigue that you can't seem to shake, literally no matter how much coffee you chug. So why do our cellular batteries drain as we age? Today we're zooming way in, going from these macroscopic, everyday symptoms right down to the molecular level to figure out exactly what's going wrong.
I absolutely love this quote from our source material. It describes a failing metabolism like, quote, drag racing with clogged fuel injectors, a dying battery, and the exhaust pipe blocked. It's just such a perfect systems engineering analogy. When your body suffers from cellular energy dysfunction, honestly, it doesn't matter how strict your diet is or how grueling your workouts are, the engine is just going to bog down and smoke. The body just cannot use energy the way it's supposed to.
So to understand how to fix the engine, we first got to look at the hardware. Meet your mitochondria. These are those little jelly bean-shaped factories inside pretty much every single cell in your body. And their one and only job is churning out ATP, which is your ultimate energy currency. But when they get damaged by stress or a poor diet, or honestly just aging, they get incredibly sluggish. Think of them like a really unmotivated intern, or your phone desperately running on 1% battery, just struggling to load a single web page.
But, factories need a spark to run, right? Enter NAD+. This is the essential molecule that acts as the cell's actual battery. It provides the critical juice that fuels energy production in those mitochondrial factories we just talked about. But it doesn't stop there. NAD+ is fundamentally required to activate sirtuins. Those are your body's longevity proteins, and it powers the enzymes responsible for DNA repair. It is, without a doubt, the master molecule in the fight against aging and cognitive decline.
Okay, let's dive into this. When we contrast these two states side by side, the difference is just stark. On the left, you've got the high NAD+ state. This is the biological signature of youth. You have boundless energy, highly active sirtuins repairing your cells, and really sharp cognition. But as NAD+ levels drop, we hit metabolic gridlock. Mitochondria become sluggish, systemic inflammation spikes, and that heavy brain fog just rolls right in.
Moving into Section 1, the energy crisis, why we lose power.
So what specific molecular villains are actively stealing our energy? Because our cells don't just lose power passively, right? It's an active drain. Things like lipid overload and chronic inflammation act as massive stress signals to the body. And this causes enzymes like CD38 and PARP to go into absolute overdrive trying to manage that cellular stress. The result? They practically starve our precious NAD+ reserves. And when NAD+ gets too low, the cell actually stops clearing out its dead, broken mitochondria, a process called mitophagy, which of course just compounds the whole crisis.
But the research shows us there's a biological fix. Step 1. You introduce an NAD+ precursor, something like NR or NMN. Usually the research-backed doses sit right around 300 to 500 milligrams daily. Step 2. This immediately goes to work restoring the cell's redox state and boosting ATP production. And step 3, with the battery finally recharged, the cell actually has the energy to activate those sirtuins and restart mitophagy. You're essentially handing your system the exact raw materials it needs to repair the grid.
And we absolutely can't ignore this fascinating alternative pathway from the literature, 5-amino-1-MQ. This compound works by actively blocking the NMMT enzyme. By inhibiting this specific enzyme, it actually stops the NAD+ drain right at the source. This helps to naturally boost your NAD+ levels and radically increase your metabolic efficiency. Basically, it reduces fatigue by optimizing exactly how our cells handle and utilize their fuel.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this all builds, the ultimate anti-aging stack. Now that we understand the NAD foundation, researchers are looking at how to stack these boosters with advanced peptides. First up in the synergistic stack is a truly incredible peptide called MOTS-C. This is a 16 amino acid sequence encoded directly by our mitochondrial DNA, and it acts as a powerful exercise mimic. It targets the AMPK pathway to basically artificially flip the switch for fat burning and endurance. Essentially, MOTS-C serves as a workout proxy for those lazy mitochondria we talked about earlier. It boosts biogenesis and energy output without you ever actually having to hit the gym.
But hey, Before you rev a rusty engine, you gotta repair it first, right? That's where SS31, also known as ilamapretide, comes in. Think of SS31 as the ultimate mitochondrial garage tune-up. It acts as a protective shield that physically repairs and stabilizes the inner mitochondrial membrane. This restores ATP output and slashes damaging oxidative stress. So in this protocol, you use SS31 to prep the engine, making it safe and efficient before MOTS-C comes in and revs it up.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is when researchers look at this sequential intervention, so first establishing the structural repair foundation with SS31 and then amplifying the metabolic capacity with MOTS-C, the data is staggering. This exact 8-week protocol creates a massive 70% cumulative uplift in endurance. 70%! It brilliantly illustrates exactly why stacking these targeted tools in the correct sequence is so much more powerful than just using them alone.
Next in the stack is epitalon, widely referred to in the research as the youth button. Epitalon activates telomerase to lengthen your telomeres and initiates this deep cellular system scan to repair DNA. But there is an interesting caveat here. Because it diverts so much cellular energy to this deep biological rebuild, users often experience an energy crash. And that's precisely why researchers suggest taking a 500 mg NMN or NR NAD+ precursor right alongside it. The NAD+ boosts your energy reserves to seamlessly counter the fatigue, while the epitalon does the heavy lifting of cellular repair.
So, the crucial point is, if you want to clear the brain fog, reverse the dad bod, and fully optimize your body's microscopic power grid, you really need a systems approach. You recharge the core battery with an NAD+ booster like NR or NMN. You mimic the metabolic effects of exercise with MOTS-C. You repair the damaged mitochondrial hardware with SS31. And you boost overall metabolic efficiency with 5-amino-1-MQ. Put it all together, and you have a comprehensive, science-backed, anti-aging stack. Which brings us to our final question for you today. Are you ready to give your biology a software update? By understanding how your cellular battery drains, and how we can use NAD+ and these incredible peptides to recharge it, you literally have the knowledge to rethink how you age. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll catch you next time.